The mic is muted. Hey, what's up, guys? Jordan Anderson here. Okay, so welcome. Still testing out this new software. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. Tonight we're gonna be talking about this is okay. So we're not gonna use the word settling in this, or we're not gonna like this. That's not the frame we're gonna do for this. Um, Tonight on this episode, we're not so much talking about what to do in your 9 to 5 and how to leave your 9 to 5 and how to go on and become a freelance photographer. Rather, we're talking about the things that the kind of harsh realities or the kind of, uh, you know, in the process of you becoming a freelance photographer, what do you do in the meantime? And that answer usually and most likely is you need to go find a regular job, some kind of 9 to 5, something that pays you a steady income so that then you can prepare, work on your business, work on getting clients so that you do, when you have a little bit of breathing room, then you can actually hit the launch button and go full time as a photographer. So let me get. Tonight I'm actually going to try to do this as quickly as possible. I'm playing around with the time, and I've noticed that a lot of these episodes, and I don't think I try to debate what is the time length versus the content. I'm trying to, how fast can I talk about this, or how short of an episode can I make tonight that is like as much dense content. And it's okay if we have like a part 2. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like if what I don't say in tonight's episode, I think we will have room for a part 2. So let's get started. Let me switch over to my handy dandy slides. And we're live. Sweet. Okay, playing around a little bit. So holding down a job as a creative. Tonight's agenda, we're going to talk about your field, choosing what specific job, what career to actually go for. The second thing we're going to talk about is life in-house. What is that like? What does that actually look like day to day? And then the final question, when exactly to leave? When is the right time? What makes sense? Let's kind of go over it. So tonight's goal, I want to discuss your journey on becoming a full-time photographer. This is it. Getting a full-time job is a very rational, normal thing to do in order to get enough income to say, hey, okay, I got enough saved in the bank. I think I can actually go full-time now. And yeah, let's do it. So I kind of want to riff a little bit. So when I say your field, I'm talking about when you're choosing a job. If you're lucky enough as a photographer, you may have gone to school for photography, or you have some kind of degree in photography or media design, or maybe you're a filmmaker or a content creator, or it's going to help you a lot in surviving mentally on your way to becoming a full-time freelancer. If you can find something in your field that is like slightly close to the job that you actually want. Something that, and I say, like, if I were to put a number next to it, it's like, can you find something like within 5 degrees, 10 degrees of what it is that you want to do as your dream job? I've had a lot of full-time jobs as a filmmaker. I've done a lot of video editing, a lot of filmmaking, the cinematography side of things. I've done a little bit of producing. I've done a little bit of directing, but and thankfully that's been in kind of my sweet spot range my entire career. That that 5 degree separations, or kind of 5 degree window of I wanted to be a full-time cinematographer, so I found a full-time cinematographer job, or I found a job that got me the opportunity or gave me the chance to do some of those responsibilities. When I say to find something within 5% is if you, let's say you do want to become a full-time photographer. If you find a 9 to 5 job as a photographer, there's something weird that happens when you kind of jam your passion job or your dream job into the corporate world, or jam it into like a regular 9 to 5 job, is that it becomes a little bit sour, or it leaves like a bitter taste in your mouth sometimes, or you start to associate all the bad, stressful things that you're having to deal with at this job, you start to associate it with your actual dream job. So if you want to become a photographer and you're working a 9 to 5 as a photographer already, you get a little bit jaded. And sometimes, like as a videographer and as a video editor, I, edit videos all day. I'm working on my camera. I'm working in Premiere. And then when it's time to go work on my own business and I go home, or I go, it's on the weekend, I can feel it sometimes, my hesitation to open up Premiere, my hesitation to open up After Effects, or to turn the camera on, get the lights out, because I've done it so much this week. And that's the difficult part. So if you find something that is slightly off from what you do, maybe 30% of your job is the dream job, 30% of your job is photography, the other 70% is maybe marketing or social media or Instagram, that is going to give you a little bit of, let's say, a little bit of sanity, and that will kind of keep the craving alive, so that you go like, I can't, it's the weekend, it's after hours, I cannot wait to go on a wedding shoot. I can't wait to go, shoot some of my friends, or like do this little photo shoot here on the weekend, because you're going to be excited for it. If you're like burnt out from working that 9 to 5 as a photographer, you get home, it's going to be a lot harder to find that energy sometimes. Life in-house. Let's talk about life in-house. So life in-house creative agencies, in-house as you're the go-to photographer for the company, or you're the headshots photographer for the company, whatever. Life in-house is a lot different. This is a dumb statement, but it's a lot different than working on your own as a photographer. When I say that too, because a lot of the job that you will be doing in the 9 to 5 is very fragmented. If you are running your own photography business, you are doing everything. You're doing the marketing, you're doing the business strategy, you're doing the sales, you're talking to clients, you're doing customer service stuff, you are planning marketing campaigns, you are designing the website, you are pricing your work, you are dealing with contracts and refunds and payment processing and invoicing, and you're also in Lightroom and editing and shooting and scouting locations and, researching and buying gear and making all that kind of stuff. When you're at your 9 to 5, you are doing 1/10 of that. You're doing 1/50th of that whole spread, which can either give you the false sense of, okay, is this what my dream job is actually like? Is this what it's going to be like as a photographer? You kind of like, you're not exactly, for me, like, I like to move very fast. I like to move, if I have a new idea, if I have a new marketing idea, if I have some kind of creative I want to test out, if I have a YouTube idea that I want to try out, I can just run with it. If you're in-house, you have to go through the channels. You have to go through your manager, your supervisor, all these kind of processes. I'm not making a judgment call about this. It's up to you if you think this is a good or bad thing. I'm saying the processes, and everything is going to be a little bit more fragmented than if you were as a freelancer. I put the drug. The drug is this: when you're a freelancer, when you're on your own, you're a little bit hungrier, you're a little bit wilier. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you're just kind of, you're a little bit more on edge, because you have to go out and kill your meal that day. You have to go out and get your work. You have to go out and get your own clients, and you're either hunting, you're farming, whatever metaphor you want to use. And when you're at the 9 to 5, the work is given to you. You don't have to go out and chase after that work. You are handed projects. You are handed sets of tasks to do. You're helping with the project development or some kind of new creative idea. But you can just be a little bit more passive in the 9 to 5. And what that does to you sometimes is it kind of lulls you into a sleep, so that when it is time to work on your own business in the off hours, on the weekend, that you kind of still are on that drug, or you're like, oh, well, it's been a long week and I don't really have time, I don't really feel like it. Whereas if you were freelancing, you don't have a choice. You gotta work. If you gotta work on the weekend, or you gotta work at night to make sure that you're getting your work done, make sure that you're getting your next client, you don't have a choice. And with the drug of the in-house life, you're kind of a little bit, you can mosey around a little bit. And then big projects. This is something you don't think about a lot, and when it happens to you, you're furious for the first time, and then you get jaded from that point on. But for big projects, if you are the in-house creative person, if you're the in-house graphic designer, if you're the in-house videographer, in-house editor, in-house photographer, you are usually, the company will pass you up when it comes to the big, bad creative projects. The projects you've been dying to shoot, the projects you've been dying to work on, where the budget is 10 times, 50 times, 100 times what you're normally given in a day-to-day process. and you will have somebody else come in, either an agency or another photographer will come in, shoot those big sexy shots that you've been dying to you've been telling your boss that you really want to shoot, and then then you're just kind of like sitting on the sidelines. And I've been both the victim and the victim and the perpetrator of the big project life in-house, because I've been in an in-house project and said, hey, I want to do this, and then come to find out that I was given like $1,000 a month to work on a video project, and then find out that the company that I work for went out and spent $20,000, $50,000 to hire a big creative team to do a big video campaign that I had no involvement in. It's like, dude, I'm right here. Hey, what's up? But I've also been on the giving end of that, which it feels weird. It's very weird. Like, hey, walk into this office. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what their dynamic, their team setup is, and just like, hey, setting up the shot, setting up the tripod, setting up the interview, and then you just see this guy walk in, and it's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And it's like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, no, we're setting up this video. We're doing a couple interviews here. We're doing like a little mini documentary. Yeah, man, cool. Like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, cool. Is that this camera? Is that the Canon C300? Yeah, dude. Yeah. You know cameras? Yeah, man. I'm actually the videographer. I actually work here. And you go, oh, shit. You work here. You're the videographer. We're the videographer. Okay. So, cool. I don't know if your boss told you, but they hired us to do a video project. And so like that's what I mean, the weird end. So if you are as a photographer, if you're in-house, be prepared for that little aspect. It's weird, but it will happen. And finally, when to leave. All right. Let's talk about when to leave. Not going to give you a plan exactly when to leave, but let's talk about first the irrational fear. The irrational fear is a lot of times that if I leave, or if I have to go and tell my boss that I walk into, you do the rehearsal in your head of telling your boss that you're going to quit to go do whatever freelance job you want to do. And I've talked with the photographers that have said this, and it's like, I'm afraid that if I go into my boss's office and tell them that I'm going to quit, or tell them that I want to leave, or tell them that I have a couple photography clients that I want to get into doing this, that it becomes like that the boss is going to be like just pissed off or angry, or like just start, throwing paper across the room. And then they're going to tell all their coworkers, and their coworkers are going to be pissed off and jealous, and that they're stuck here at this crappy job, and you get to leave and go do your dream job. Ooh, that is the irrational fear that goes through our mind when we're thinking about, okay, if I leave, if I quit, then that's going to happen. I'm going to be ostracized. All my coworkers, my friends are going to hate me. My boss is going to make these last 2 weeks, or my 2 weeks notice, whatever, a living hell. And I'm here to tell you that is usually never the case. I say usually never the case because I don't want to be on the hook for this, but I think it is totally irrational to think that. That usually does not happen. People, a lot of times, 99% of the time, are extremely nice. Very happy for you. No one is holding you prisoner. No one is resenting the fact that you're leaving. And, because it happens sometimes like, hey, I'm leaving to go work for a competitor, I can understand that kind of anger. But if you're leaving to say, hey, I got this thing going, I actually got a couple clients, I love this, I'm so passionate about this, I'm excited, and yeah, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to go full time. I think I'm going to, I got a couple wedding photography clients, and I'm going to do this. People, your boss is going to love that. Your coworkers are going to be excited for you. If they're jealous for you, it's just, they're not going to be jealous. They're going to be excited for you because they're like, hey man, dude, that's awesome, dude, good for you. Like, damn, dude, that sounds fucking great, dude. Tell me how it goes, or like, if you need my help, or you ever need our help, just let us know. I want you to go in thinking that. I want you to go in 100% believing, and like, do away with that irrational fear. People are excited for you. People are happy for you. Like, don't project that fear onto other people and make them. It's not going to happen. Now let's move on to the ideal plan. What is the ideal plan? the ideal plan is, of course, yeah, like let's get 6 months in the bank. Let's get a year in the bank. Let's get 2 years in the bank, because the longer your runway is, the longer you have time, the more you have time to like breathe, pay the bills, and get this business going, actually find clients, because there's going to be some months where nothing happens, or you're going to test out something new. You're going to maybe test a new marketing theory out, new marketing campaign, and nothing happens. No clients. And if you have that ice cold grip on the back of your neck, constantly saying, this is all about to fucking end, or this is all going away, or the bills are due next month and we're about to run out of money, you cannot think clearly at all. As a business leader, as a business owner, you have to think clearly. You have to be able to, we talked about it. You have to be able to look up above the hedges and see the horizon of where your business is going. You can't be stuck head down all the time. And when you are worried about the bills, when you're worried about rent, when you're worried about making next month's payment, that's head down mode, thinking, how do I make a quick buck? How do I make $150 today? Okay, I normally shoot weddings, but I got to go find some, maybe I can go to some stores, or maybe I can go shoot some influencer shots on a random Tuesday. Okay, yeah, well, so that's the ideal plan. Ideal plan is to have some money in the bank, have a little bit of breathing room, whatever that, again, we talked about risk tolerance a couple weeks ago. Whatever your risk tolerance is, 6 months, a year, can you live at your parents' house for free, and then just pay for food, or pay them $1,000 a month for a quote unquote rent to them? What can you do? What can you do to make the runway as far as you can to keep it going as long as possible? And then the reality. The reality is, it's not like so matter of fact, Jordan. The reality happens is that there's the plan, there's the ideal plan, and then there's the reality. A lot of us lost our jobs last year. A lot of us, everything got upended. A lot of the creative departments and a lot of marketing agencies got totally flipped, inside out, gutted. Hey, fuck all this, we're leaving, the budget's collapsed, no more marketing budget, you gotta go, you gotta get out. We're just going to hire freelancers for the next year. We'll make it work. But if you're a photographer, if you're a creative designer, if you're an editor or a videographer, see you later. Well, tell us your day rate on the way out. That can be the reality. So so the plan, you want to always try to nail that plan or get to that plan, but if you find out that, okay, hey, something's going, I got some momentum, if I stay at this job, I'm not going to be able to help these next 5 wedding clients that just came down the barrel. You have to kind of just make that judgment call in the moment. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, I don't have 6 months of runway. I have 5 months of runway, but I just booked 2 more clients, and I already have booked 5 clients last month. That gives me a lot of upcoming projects. Sometimes you just have to go for it. So that's about it. We'll wrap it up tonight. Playing around with some new PowerPoint slides, a little new design. Hope you guys enjoy that. But it's, gonna bring it back to the top. Holding down a job as a creative, it's tough. It's weird, but sometimes it is the rational, clear choice on your way to becoming a full-time photographer. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Jordan Anderson. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're definitely going to do a part 2 on this in the future. Be sure to subscribe and do all the fun stuff that YouTube has to offer down below. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for watching.